Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the very special episode. I'm absolutely delighted to do this one. The next in the series of special guests, we have another former Millwall player, a player that for me needs no introduction, someone that I think had a real special rapport with the fans. Joined us at the age of just 15, played for us for 11 years. We were just talking off air actually, 226 games, 44 goals, 1 in 5, a really good record. Welcome to the show, Mr. Aiden O'Brien. How you doing, mate?
Thank you, mate. I'm well. And you?
Good, yeah, mate. I'm all good. I'm just absolutely buzzing to have you on the show, mate. So, thank you so
No,
much for taking the
don't be
time out.
silly. Don't be silly. As I said off air as well, anytime I can help a fellow Millwall man, fellow Millwall person, I will do so.
Great, mate. No, thank you so much. And so, tell me, like, you've been spending some time with the PFA recently. Like, how's that going for you, mate?
Yes, it's I don't know if you've seen the previous interviews I've done and been around floating around Twitter and stuff, but it's been absolutely. I can't. Words don't really describe it. Really, it's been so powerful what they've done. For players like me that are out of contract and are looking for clubs and in because basically, look, as a footballer, you you always regimented and you've got schedule and you've got plans and you've got everything in place when you're in the football club and you're in contract. As soon as you're
Mm,
out of contract, it all relies on what you do as a senior pro, as a pro, off your own back. And I found that a little bit difficult sometimes. And I can imagine a lot of people around the world who are out of contract will also be in that situation where they find it a little bit difficult. You get to a stage where you keep doing the same things, you're trying to mix it up and do it on your own, and it's hard sometimes mentally as well. So this PFA camp has been absolutely brilliant. Not only do you get to socialize with different people and connect with different people, it it helps you mentally take your mind off all of that stress about am I going to get another club? What am I going to do
mm,
for training? It is all exactly like a football club should be. It's scheduled, it's professional. Everything is, as I said on the previous interview, everything is in place for you to do what you can to get fit and get better and stay ready for a club. You've got physios on site, you've got masseuses on site, you've got supplements, protein shakes, energy gels. Everything's paid for. You don't pay for a thing. You you you,
wow.
you pay. They pay for your accommodation there. Football pitches are on site at accommodation. You've got spas. You've got lunch, breakfast, dinner on site. You've got games room if you fancy a bit of games room. You have everything a top championship club would have if they went away on pre-season tour. And not to mention the coaching is top notch. We do double sessions every Tuesday and Wednesday with a match on Thursdays. We do I average about 33k in 4 days of running every week I go there. And they give you the stats to take away as well. So the clubs think, oh, he's only just saying that. No, we've got the stats to all show it.
Nice. So you
So
wear like the belts and the
belts,
vests
they
and
do
stuff.
everything.
Yeah,
They do everything. It's so professional. And I can't thank them enough on behalf of all of us players out of contract, because they are really, really, really gone above and beyond to try and help us get that next move and next club and stay ready.
that's fantastic, mate. And I'm sure you've met some really other, great people and good players in similar positions to you as well. Like, how many of you are there at any one time?
Um, um, don't quote me on this, but I reckon it's 30 per camp
Right.
that's the capacity that they can hold, and with about 10 coaches slash staff. I think it's 40 in total, and then they kind of pick and choose. There's two people that pick and choose who comes on, who doesn't come on, which weeks you do, which weeks you don't do, and they just rotate it that way. But yeah, I've been on it for a couple 3 weeks now. I've been absolutely put through my paces. I'm feeling as sharp as I've ever been, uh, and I just feel ready. And it's all down to them and the coaching. Really, it's
Mm.
just I've got to give it all to them. Really, it's been absolutely brilliant. And the standard as well. you want to see some of the names and players that are on that list, and we're training with it. It's top quality, top quality.
Well, I think I saw, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but it's on their Instagram, so it must be. I think I saw like Dwight Gale,
Yeah.
Sean Maguire.
Sean Maguire.
So it's some good players, some big names there. Dwight Gale.
Roof. Literally, I can go through like Romain Sawyers. There's so many people that have played high levels, all training in the same camp, that are all in the same boat, can't find a club, and it baffles me, to be honest. Like, it baffles me because you're training with some of these people, and you're like, if you can't find this club, then I'm really struggling. Do you know what I mean? Because like these players, like as you mentioned, Dwight Gale, Premier League, like he's known for he's scored against Liverpool. He's done it all. He's done the Premier League stuff, and he's there grafting away. And if he can do it, anyone can do it. And it just shows, that the professionalism it has there. Because if it weren't the case, then people like Dwight Gale wouldn't be going.
Yeah, very, very true. Well, if there are any clubs or fans of other clubs listening to this and want a striker that can score 1 in 5 from left mid, then Aiden, you got your man right here.
That's not a bad little record, that, to be fair.
So you even
I'll take that from left mid. I'll take it.
Well, we're going to talk about that anyway. But I think I just want to start off by saying as well, like, on behalf of all Millwall fans, we wish that you find your next home as soon as possible. Really, really do hope that's the case very, very soon.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
But I'm going to take us back to obviously your Millwall career, right? So you joined as a 15-year-old lad, if I'm correct. And, one of the things that you talked about in previous interviews was the influence that certain people had on your careers, particularly at the start. And you quoted your dad as well in one of these things. And I remember you saying around, like, at times you wouldn't quite understand, but he'd make you do 500 kick-ups to go and play out, and really taught you that discipline. And I love that story because I'm a really family-orientated person. So when I hear stuff like that, it really makes me happy. But can you tell me a little bit more about that kind of initial start to your Millwall career and how all of that work and effort really paid off in the end for you?
Yeah, basically it was kind of tough love between me and my dad. Probably something you couldn't do nowadays, to be honest with you. But listen, he had his way of parenting and coaching me, and to be honest, who am I to judge? He got me to where I got now. Like, he helped me, and it worked because it motivated me. It kept me on track. It kept me off the streets. It kept me from doing silly things, and it kept me focused. And to be honest, when I got into Millwall's, I went on trial. I went into Millwall's academy at 15. Pretty sure it was Watford away, and I scored on my first game. And then I think they signed me the next day, and then the rest was history. I just kept scoring, through the ages, and I just kind of felt like I was at home already. That type of feeling where you just feel like you belong straight away.
Yeah.
I had that feeling from very young, which made me express myself on the pitch more. And as you say, the coaches, I had people like Larry McAvoy, who was my first coach, who was nothing but a bright star in my life, really, because all he done was egg me on to express myself and be free on the ball, and always positive output for me. Like, he never actually tried to rein anything in with me. He always let me be me and on the pitch and express myself. And people like that, like Larry, at that time and at a pivotal stage in my career at 15, 16, it's so important. So I thank him for that. And then you move on through the ages. You go to the 18s, the reserves. You've got people like Richard Shaw, who was there, who's now, I think he's at Palace now. I'm not sure, but anyway, he was there. And then you had another man, a brilliant man, Scott I wouldn't say saved my Millwall career, but he recognised that my life at home could have affected my life at Millwall being a footballer.
Right.
So he took it upon himself to put me in a digs, which is a place, which is basically a home, a random person's home, which are being paid by Millwall to look after me. They cook for me, they give me a room, they wash my clothes, and I live with them respectively, obviously. And they did that for me. So they took me out of the estate. So
Wow.
at the time, I'm looking back at it thinking, I don't want to leave my mates. I don't want to leave my estate. I want to go and play with my mates, do this, do these silly things and this and that. Because that's what you think at the time is the
Yeah.
right thing to do. You're comfortable with that. You're brought up with that. You want to play in the cage with your mates in a football on state and all these silly things. But he saw that what could have happened if I did stay there. And he wanted me to recognize, he wanted me to understand that if you want to make it, son, you have to put the hard yards in and be focused. And that's why the digs thing happened. So I thank him really, really dearly for that, along with many other things. You know, he was the best coach coming through the ages that I had, along with Larry McAvoy. Yeah, two big people, pivotal people in my upbringing through that academy.
That's amazing to hear. And obviously, Scotty Fitzgerald's still with the club, right? He's still doing good work there.
Yeah, I went down there the other day.
Oh, really?
Did some coaching, just to watch a few coaches and want to get involved. And that's something I want to go into after football. And he was there, had a great coffee, had a chat with him, and I laughed with him like I was with him the other day. Like I've not seen him for a few years, and it was still fresh and still good to catch up. And it's like I've never like I've seen him, 2 weeks ago, but I've not seen him for 4 years. It's just that's the type of relationship we have. And he's a top man. I don't know if you've met him in person, but he's a top man.
And they're the best relationships, aren't they? When you don't have to speak to someone all the time, but when you do, you pick up where you left off, and it was just like yesterday, right? So, speaking of just like yesterday, mate, can you remember your debut? I believe you'll know this, away to Wolves in the cup. Is that right?
Yeah, how am I meant to forget that? We lost 5-0.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah.
forget that. But
They were a good team at the time.
Yeah, listen. You can't win them all. I say. It was a brilliant outing. It was something I will always remember. A massive stadium. No matter the result, it was a good moment in my career. Minus the result.
I think you came on for Big Danny and Gesson as well, if I
Yes, I did.
I remember rightly.
He was a good player, by the way, but that's another story. But yeah, it was a good moment in my career.
What was he like? Because he sort of, I don't know. At times he would do things, and I would think, "God, what a player!" And then other times I was like, "Does he even care about being it?" It was as an odd one. What was he like? You said he was a good player?
Really good, powerful, strong, great finish. Yeah, really, 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 really good player. What I saw of him anyway. Really good player.
Oh, interesting. So you made your debut, and then if I've got this correct, you had quite a few loans. I think I've got written down here: Staines, Hayes, Yedding. How well do those loans to some of the lower leagues prepare you? What do you learn there that you can then carry forward into your career?
I think the most important thing about loans, which is different to academy football, in my opinion, going through it, was the drive to win. The word win, the meaning of that word win, was so much more important in them loan moves than it was in the academy football. And the reason behind that was simple. You don't win, you don't get 3 points, you don't get bonuses, you don't get win bonuses, and you might get relegated. And that has a toll on people's wages, people's livelihoods, people's family situations, and that's the difference. So I quickly learnt that when, you know, you're tip-tapping around on the football on a 7 p.m. at Stainstown FC Stadium, and you're getting smashed, and it's like, you better sort yourself out now. Like, they'll tell you, and it's like, and then as soon as that happens, it just clicked. Right, I'm not in academy football no more. This is serious. And yeah, it was just a brilliant spell. Although they didn't all go well, it was more of a learning stage for me to kind of get the grips of what it means to go out there and play in front of the stadium, in front of the fans, and what it means for the rest of the players in the changing room to actually get that 3 points on the table for their families and for their kids and for their livelihoods.
I suppose it just teaches you a completely different meaning of it's a life lesson as well as a football lesson, isn't it? You know, you see the hunger and the passion and desire. Because the other thing I was going to ask you is that you then, if I've got this right, you came back and you sort of started to break into the team. I think you played against Southampton, like your league debut, and then you started to break into the team. How was that for you? And then also, how were the sort of senior players towards you as you were coming through?
Yeah, you know, you had people like Alan Dunn, David Ford, you know, Mark Beavers, you know, the list goes on. Richard Chaplow, Jimmy Abdu, Tony Craig. Like, I could name so many more people there that were so good to me, and accepted me as a young lad coming into their changing room. They accepted me straight away, and they put their arm around me. They made it hard, you know. They didn't make it easy, but they only made it hard because they wanted me to understand what playing for Millwall was going to be like. And yeah, I respected every one of them. And then when it did become the time that I was putting the shirt on and playing out there with them, I gave it 110% for my teammates, and that's what it was, and that's what they kind of made me realise in and around the training ground every day. So I feel like it's important to now, through my career, make that same transition to the younger players around me.
Yeah.
Make it known that, you know, yes, we can have fun, we can have a laugh, of course we can, but I want to make sure you know that when you put that shirt on, I need you to run 100% for me, because I'll run 100% for you. And if we can do that, we can have a laugh and joke after when we have 3 points.
Yeah. No, that's great, mate. And then, I mean, you touched on there, like what it's like to play for Millwall.
Yeah.
Is it different to play for Millwall? Like, do you think that Millwall is a you know, is the Den as unique as us fans like to believe it? You know, what's your perspective on that? What does it mean, as in like what it takes to play for Millwall?
I'll be honest, I've been at some fairly decent sized clubs now, and I gotta be honest, mate, not one of them compares to Millwall.
Oh, I love it. Love that.
Sorry, like, just in terms of the relationship I had with the fans and the boost and energy and drive the fans gave us as players. Honestly, guys, you will not understand what you do for them players out there to this day when you start getting behind them. I promise you, it is definitely a weapon for us as Millwall people and Millwall players. When you guys are on our side, any Millwall player will say it, past, present. When you guys are full stands, in the stands, full stadium, when you guys are on our side, very rarely we will lose the game. And I think that just shows. If you go through, like, how many times, you know, we've been on top of games and we've been winning games, it's because of the capacity and the guy and the Millwall fans, you know, sticking with us all the way to the end. It's just so important and powerful, and I never saw that at any other club as much as I did at Millwall.
Well, I'm sure the Millwall fans listening to this will be buzzing you saying that. And
I'm not just saying that, by the way. I'm being genuine. I'm genuinely just being honest. Yeah.
No, I can tell, mate. And I think it's really interesting you say that, because the Den, the Den was made a fortress again by Neil Harris last season when he came back, right? And let's be honest, he saved us. I had Stephen Morrow on an interview recently, and he was like, "You stayed up because of Neil Harris," and I find it hard to argue. And he did that by, like you just said there, bringing the connection back between the fans and the players, which, as you're alluding to, is really important. But I would love to talk to you a bit about Neil Harris, and if my understanding is correct, your relationship begun. You cleaned his boots. Is that right? When you
Yeah,
were in
I
the
played
youth
his
team?
boots for a while.
Um,
He another tough love situation, me and him. He's another one, but he you got to go through them things. You can't have it all easy. I know deep down that he really, really wanted me to do well, and he looked out for me. But at the time, I was learning my trade. I've got to go through it, and that's how it was back in them days. You probably can't do it nowadays, as I said, but that's just how it was, and you respect your senior pros for it as well, how it was. And he was brilliant. He used to give me good Christmas bonuses for cleaning his boots. He's a top guy. Obviously, that was as a player. Playing for him was a
yeah.
whole different kettle of fish. He was. People used to go around the change room, "Oh, your old man, he's your old man," and all that, because of our relationship. We were so close, like, "Oh, your old man." Like, that was just a joke around the dressing room. Like, but he kick-started my Millwall career, and I can't thank him enough for what he did for me as a player and as a person. He gave me freedom. He let me be me. He understood me. He told me when I needed to be told. He was straight with me, and he got the best out of me. And he was, to this day, and he will always be, I think, he'll take a lot, be the best manager that I've worked under, and he's the most effective manager for me as a player. He got the best out of me, no shadow of a doubt.
And again, that's just it's amazing to hear, because you, as fans, like, he is Mr. Millwall, right? He's done it as a player. He got us promoted, obviously, with you in the team. He's now come back and saved us, I think, from a certain relegation. Like, it's almost like, what more could he do? And you touched on there, like, he got the best out of you. And one of the things he did to get the best out of you was to arguably play you in not your favourite position, right? He played you as a left midfielder, and I'm just going to plug that again so the Millwall fans hear it. You got a record of 1 in 5 playing left mid, and obviously that includes substitutes appearances. And I've got to say, mate, it almost was like we had 3 strikers on the pitch when you were playing left mid, because you had this knack of just arriving in the right place at the right time, even though you were playing left mid. But how was that? What was the learning curve like for you, and how did you take to it and adapt to that role?
Yeah, well, obviously you had 2 people up front with Steve Morrison and Lee Gregory, and they were probably best strikers in the league at the time, as a pair. So I wasn't getting a look in there, that's for sure. So the manager wanted to play me. He really trusted in me. He saw something in me. He knew I could bring something to the team. So he kind of spoke to me one day at the training ground, and said, "Look, left mid, I think you could do a job there. You've got experience behind you, like Tony Craig's behind you. You just got to listen to him. He can talk you through the defensive side of things, and then he'll give you the ball. You do what you got to do, and then what you can do on the pitch is just be free. I won't put no shackles on you. Tell you what you've got to do. You go out there, listen to Tony Craig, but when the ball's in the final third and go and attack in the box, you go and sniff out a chance, and you go where you want." He used to say to me, "You go and get the ball. You go where you want." So the fact that he done that made me playing out of position easier, because he didn't put no restrictions on me, or "This is how you got to play, stay wide, do this, do that." He literally let me go and figure it out myself, and that's what I did. When the ball went wide out to Jed Wallace out on the right, or whoever may be out the right, Chris Taylor or James Henry, whoever was out on the right, I would always be running inside, blindside of the defender, and never get picked up. And I'll just be tapping them in. And it just became a thing. It just became a thing, and it worked. So credit to Neil Harris for that. And yeah, it's all down to the freedom and the confidence and the belief he had in me. To just, go, if you do mess up, don't worry about it. Just get back in position. You'll go again. Don't worry about it. You're going to play. And that gave me the confidence to go and keep trying to get on the ball and go and score and go and get into them dangerous positions. And that's why I've got the ratio of 1 in 5 from left mid.
You talked about sort of tapping them in and arriving late and just being in the right place at the right time. And I want to talk a bit about a couple of Leeds games. So one of them was the 4-3, which I can't remember if you scored the first or the second goal, but that was exactly, that was it, right? You were back post. I can see it now. I think it was a header, wasn't it?
Yeah, Morrison got the ball out wide. And he literally, I saw him have a little glance, and as soon as I see him take that little glance, I know what Morrow's like. I know what he's like. He wants to have that, whip that little ball in the channel, like into the box, either it be front post or back. He had a little look, and as I saw him have a look, I knew, right, he's going to cross this. Just be ready. Put it straight on my head. Couldn't have been a more better ball. It was perfect. And to be honest, that was a mad game, wasn't it?
I was there, mate. It was.
That was a mad game.
As a fan, like such an emotional roller coaster. What was it like to play in, though?
Yeah, it was. I'll be honest, that was probably one of the best games in my Millwall career, as in terms of atmosphere and drama and action. It was up. It's got to be up there. It's got to be up there. And then Jed Wallace, bang, goes and wins it in the end. It's just he couldn't have wrote that before the game. It's just a perfect ending, wasn't it? Away from home,
mate. It was brilliant. Obviously, like to go 2-0 up, they have a man sent off. We're thinking we're cruising, and then somehow with 10 men, 3-2. And look, I don't like Leeds for obvious reasons, but credit to them, they created some atmosphere. Obviously, we played our part as fans as well, of course.
Yeah.
And then I remember big old Tom Elliott coming on, getting the goal and causing carnage, and the rest is history, mate. What a game! And one person that was in the stands with us was Mr. Byron Webster, who I know you have a very special relationship with. So talk to me about your relationship with Byron.
Yeah, he was like a senior pro at the time. Obviously, me coming from, I was about 21, 22, and he's been around the game, and I kind of warmed to him, his personality, and he kind of like took me under his wing type of thing, and kind of showed me the ropes, showed me the game, spoke to me before games, told me not to worry, be calm, be this, be that, don't worry about it if you make a mistake. He kind of took on like a father figure role,
right,
to kind of help me get through the games without showing too much disappointment if things don't go right. He was just nurturing me and coaching me into that way, and it really helped. And we ended up making a special bond on the pitch and a very special bond off the pitch, if I do say so. We had a lot of fun, we had a lot of fun, and he helped me a lot. He set up my when I got my first place. He set up all my council tax bills, my water, my gas, electric. I didn't know what I was doing.
What a guy!
We sat at Starbucks, and he went through all of them for me, set them all up when I bought my first place. I don't know. I didn't have a clue, and he just went, right. I'll do it. I bought him the coffees. He done it. He helped me through it, and that was the type of person he was to me. And yeah, listen, I bought him a few beers over the years. He probably ain't bought me one, but it's just how it is, No, he's a top guy, man. I can't speak highly of him enough. And he's had a great career, Fair play to him.
Yeah, and just got promoted with Bromley, so congratulations to him. You talked a bit there about your relationship that you had with him on and off the pitch. I think I'm going to put up an image now of a game that.
Go on.
Obviously, you tell the story a bit better, but I believe that there was some some fun off the pitch the week before, and then actually I think you combined for a certain goal. And then this also shows the type of relationship you had with the fans. I'm just going to put this picture up. I think you know exactly what's coming, mate.
Yeah, right in the mixer there. Look, push past
Love
the
it.
police and everything. Out the way.
For those of you listening on a podcast, this is a photo of Aiden O'Brien in celebrating with the fans after pushing the police out of the way when he scored the winning goal away at Bury.
Oh, honestly, what was I thinking?
Did you almost get arrested?
Yeah, because, mate, I'm pretty sure they might cut the video out because they don't want to show it. But I got dragged out the fans because they thought I was like a nutty streaker or something. And they put my arms in the position where you're like that, and they're like pushing me. I'm like, whoa, whoa, I'm a player, and they're like, oh, whoa, and they let me go. I was like, this is crazy. But like in that moment, all that was in my mind was these fans have travelled all this way, and we've just done it in the last minute. Get me in there with them now. I'm in there, and it felt like a bit of a Rocky moment, you know, like when Rocky's doing like, you know, on the top of the stairs. It was just, you know, it was brilliant, man. It was so good. And the funny story was, yes, you're right. We went out. Me and Byron went out probably a couple days beforehand. Not out as in clubbing, but out for a few drinks, a bit of food and that. And before that cross come in, but wait, as that cross was coming in, he jacksed it and shouted Zlatan. And then like I've tapped it home, and we just went nuts. And then the rest is history on that photo. It's just unbelievable. Oh, what a day! Them days you can't. Them days you can't. They ain't coming again. They're once in a lifetime moments.
Yeah. Special moment, mate. Special moment, and another special moment. And to me, again, I'm going to put another image up, and like this is how I remember you as a Millwall player. You just always, even like you are now, mate. You just always had a smile on your face, and like this, I love this image. I'm just going to whack this one up. Picture of you, your medal when you get promoted. But like, look, mate, like you just talk to us about the playoff final game, mate. Like how was that? I mean, what a day.
Yeah. I think even to this day, I ain't really been able to soak it up and take it in because I'm still actively playing and I'm still conscious about what I'm doing next, playing this, that, and other. I think I'm really what's really going to happen is I think once I finish playing, which ain't yet, by the way, I've still got a lot of years. Once I finish playing, I reckon what I'm going to do, I think I'm just having a little think now. I reckon it's all just going to coming out of me, you know, the emotion and game and the dramatic playoff defeat against Barnsley, the dramatic win against Bradford, the Bury, the that. I reckon it's all just going to come back to me, and it's all going to get emotional. I'm all going to get, you know, get into that emotional stage. But at the moment, I haven't really been able to take it in. You take it in on the day, and it's the best thing ever. It was the best thing ever. Getting promoted with your boyhood club that you support. But I reckon it's going to hit me again when I finish football. All of these dramas, what we're talking about now. I reckon once I finish football and I'm sitting there watching my little boy kick a football about or something like that, I reckon I'm going to sit there and go, that was a good day, that was a good day. Do you know what I mean? I just kind of can't wait for that day, to be honest. So that'll be a good day. But that promotion day, yeah. If I didn't get promoted with Millwall after all them years, I probably would have been a little bit of regret there. As in, like, something that I would have been, I wish I got promoted with Millwall, you know. But I'm so thankful that I've done it with a great bunch of lads and a great group of staff. It was a beautiful moment.
It was like again, you think of like this sort of, we talk about the Leeds game and the storytelling, to lose the year before, to then almost not even get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, then to get in the playoffs and win the game was just amazing, man. It gives me goosebumps thinking back to it, and it was so special for the fans as well. And how would you describe your relationship then with the Millwall fans?
I think it was a great journey. You know, they see me coming through the youth rank, so it was probably a lot of speculation when I was coming through. Oh, O'Brien, you know, he's playing for this, that, the other. He scored again, and then they saw my journey all the way, which made it special. You know, it's very rare these days. You know, you get someone from the age of 15 at a club go all the way to play 250 times for the club that they've come through at. So it was like a big family for me. You know, I would always go outside, take pictures with people, have a lot of time for the community with Sean Daly and giving back that way. I always had time to, you know, message people and be around and try and give back that way. And also, I wanted to give them as much hard work and effort on the pitch as well, to try and repay that, you know, belief they had in me on the pitch, which I heard every week.
Yeah.
We had that kind of relationship, you know, that kind of family relationship, that bond. And to be honest, whenever I was out, if I had a drink, if I was in a pub or anything, and I saw a Millwall fan, they will always buy me around, buy me a drink. So it's just one of them things where it's like big brother, big sister, you know, big sister, big brother, and I wanted to make them proud every time I went on that pitch.
It's so amazing to hear like a player that I've grown up watching say things like that about a club. Seriously, it's really special, and that brings me to another special moment in your career, which was, you know, representing your country. Right? I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than, well, you know, how could you possibly top getting promoted with Millwall? Well, how about representing your country and scoring on your debut? Right? How was that?
Honestly, that's another situation where I'm going to be sitting when I'm 60 going,
I'm taking you down memory lane here, mate, aren't I?
That's going to be one of them moments again. I remember when I was telling my grandson, you know, all of that. Oh, be quiet, granddad. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But yeah, no, it's going to be, yeah. Honestly, that day, if you watch the video back, there's on YouTube, I actually cried while I was celebrating. And yeah, I did, but I stopped myself after a while. And there was tears coming out of my eyes. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but you might be able to see it now. I've told you. It was that. I was in shock. I was in shock. Delivery was perfect. Glanced the ball, went straight in the back of the net. Offside flag stayed down. 1-0 up, away from home at Poland on my debut for the senior team. Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane on the side.
Wow.
It's just like, what? Do you know what I mean? Like, did this just happen? Yeah. Honestly, to this day, mate, it's one of the best feelings that I've ever had. Nothing's going to top the birth of my son, but that, in terms of football, that and promotion with Millwall, by far the best feeling.
Just amazing to have those moments, right? And like you say, I'm sure when you've hung your boots up and you've got grandkids and you're telling them, you'll go through all of these stories. It's just brilliant. And you mentioned there like Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane. Like Roy Keane probably
them names right there. Them names in football, like, they are monsters in the game, and they trusted me to lead the line for their country, for our country, and I repaid them with a goal on my debut. Like, try and write a book like that. It's like, that's a fairy tale, isn't it? That's like Disney. It's like they're watching Beauty and the Beast or something, like, where they all get married at the end and go happily ever after. It's just unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, can't say, I can't express how happy I was that day.
I mean, I'm sure Roy Keane, when you went and saw him after, he was probably just like, oh, it's his job. It's your job to do that.
Well, yeah. I mean, the next game I started against Wales. Listen to this. And he come on the pitch. I'm doing my warm up. The next, he covered the pitch. I'm doing my warm up. I've done my finishing drill. We're playing Wales in the UEFA Nations League qualifiers. I think it was, but it was Wales. And he come up to me. I'm doing my kick ups just before we're about to go in and get ready to come out on the pitch. And he tapped me on the shoulder. Didn't know he was there. He just went, and he was behind me. I went, "Oh, you're right. You're right." And he goes, "It's your shirt to keep. Don't let anyone of them take it off you." And then walked off, straight face. And I was just there like, oh no. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, shit. But like, he's that type of person. You have your chance now. You scored. You've got your chance. Keep it.
Yeah.
And then I ended up having a bad game. Yeah. So
did you play against Morrow in that?
No. No, I don't think I did. No.
Because I'm sure he was in the Wales setup at that sort of time. I can't remember.
There. I'm not sure. I don't think he was, because I would have said hello to him, but no, I don't think he was there. But yeah, it's brilliant times. Yeah, unbelievable times.
Amazing, mate. Amazing. I mean, yeah, you had such an amazing career with us, and I think, again, if I'm trying to recall from my notes, that Neil Harris obviously left the club as manager. Gary Rowett came in, and it was under the start of Gary's tenure that you left Millwall, and you went to Sunderland. Have I got that right?
That's correct, yes.
And I think it was Parkinson that signed you.
Phil Parkinson, yeah.
And then I think Lee Johnson took over, so you sort of played under them. You know, what was that experience like? Like I can just, you're a London lad, all your life, and then I'm not going to blow smoke up their ass, but Sunderland, a big club.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
You know, you're leaving Millwall for whatever reason. You know, you and Gary or whatever have your reasons. How was that like to just make that transition and literally move your life up there?
Yeah, first of all, I didn't want to leave. I think it's quite evident I wouldn't want to leave, but it was quite clear that I wasn't playing. I wasn't in his plans. Even when I was getting on and scoring, he still wouldn't be playing me. It was quite clear that I was out of favour and he wanted to go a different direction. So we had a few chats and stuff like that. And the one thing was, it was COVID. So it was really hard getting released in COVID. It was probably one of the hardest things ever. But I had to, do what I had to do, and Sunderland come calling, and thankfully they did. And Phil Parkinson showed me around, and you can't really turn down a club like Sunderland, with their history, how big the stadium is, and the fans, just everything about it. And it was good, really good time, and it was a very, very good experience playing for such a big club, with their facilities and the history and the Premier League stuff. It was just such a good experience to kind of be involved in that, to see how it is, and I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. I can't thank Phil Parkinson enough for taking me there and showing me around and giving me an opportunity. But he didn't last long. Unfortunately, and that weren't great, because I thought me and Phil Parkinson would have been a good match if we stayed together for a year or so. Lee Johnson come in. I played a lot of games under him, loads of games under him, and yeah, I would say I probably could have done better in my time at Sunderland, but I done well enough. We got to playoffs. We done things there, and yeah, I enjoyed every moment, every bit of it. Met some great people.
And it, as you say, like you during COVID, you're playing under different managers. You're away from home. It must be a life learning experience as much as anything around football. And then you went to Pompey, if I got that right.
Yeah.
How was that experience? Because as a Millwall fan, I always look at Pompey and think they're no one will ever be Millwall in my eyes, and I'm sure in your eyes, but it's almost as close as you get in terms of that, the fans and stuff. But that's just from afar. I think it was the Cowley brothers that signed you. Tell me about your experience at Pompey.
Yeah. Well, went there. Kylie Brothers signed me in Jan, and first game scored, second game scored, third game scored 3 in a row. The fans just took to me straight away after the first, second.
Yeah, they did.
I had a lightning start there, and I just clicked with the fans. That was the first time since Millwall that I clicked with a set of fans, and I just had that rapport with them. And I was delivering. And then it got to the stage where contracts at the end of the season, I thought it was a no-brainer. And then, without going into too much detail, things were getting messed about, as they do, and it just didn't happen. Maybe one day when I finish football, we can dive a bit deeper. But for now, there's no need. But Pompey was really, 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 what's the word? It was like the next best thing that I had since playing at Millwall. And I can't thank the fans enough for how they were with me and the players and the staff. It was a brilliant, brilliant little short period.
And was you? Did John Massinio?
No, he was at Oxford at the time.
It was at Oxford at the time, because obviously he's managed now, and he took them up, and he's seems to be very highly rated. But we'll have to see how they fare, obviously, in the Championship this season. But so you didn't, for whatever reason, you didn't stay with Pompey, and you went to Shrewsbury. If I got that right, was upon reflection, was that the right one? And how did all that come about? How was that for you?
Well, we didn't have much going into because we were banking on Pompey with how well I'd done. The fans were calling for me to sign. I thought, you know what, I'm going to go on holiday. I'm a Pompey player now. I'm signing a 2-year contract with Pompey, guaranteed. I don't want to go anywhere else. Done. And then things happened, that uncontrollable. Things happened, and then we had to go back to the drawing board. We had nothing, so we were like, where are we at? Sat down in the coffee shop in Beckenham with my agent, going through the clubs. This is maybe, they might have you here. This is that. No, yes, this. And then there was one club at the bottom, Shrewsbury. Oh, haven't called him yet. You know what? Let me give him a call now while I'm with you. Called him while I was sitting next to him. Called whoever he called. It wasn't the manager. It was I can't remember his name, but it was someone else that does all the finances and stuff. And he said, yeah, what would he be asking for? Told him what he's asking for. Right. Can you get him down here tomorrow or the day after? Literally, it was that quick.
Wow.
It was the quickest turnaround ever. So I went, you know what? They're showing that much belief and urgency to take me. That's what I need at this time in my career. And went down there. It was a beautiful town, but it just didn't work out. Just didn't work out, and that's just how football is.
Yeah, and you then you've had a few loans, obviously, since, right? So I believe you've been to Gillingham on loan.
Yeah.
And you played at Sutton.
Yeah. That was just things weren't working out at Shrewsbury, so I needed to get closer to home. And the manager at Sutton, I knew well, Matt Gray, from being at Aldershot years ago, played under him. He was assistant there. And he just went, look, come and stay at home, come play games under us for half a season, and then see what happens after that. So it was just perfect location-wise, and at the time, I needed that.
Yeah. And obviously Sutton is now managed by a former teammate of yours, Steve Morrison. What was he like to play with, and did you always see that he was going to be a manager?
Yes, I think I've not always saw it, but you could see signs that he would want to go into that role with you know, how much detail and how much care he took into training and off the pitch stuff. You know, like he would always like come in the dressing room and tell us what you need to do and this and that at half times and at full time. So he'll always share his opinion and make people know that you should have done that better or you done that well and like that. So he was quite good at doing that type of thing. So that kind of showed me that maybe he's planning for, you know, life after football, because he was so detailed in what he was telling us as players that he could probably just pass that on as a manager. It'd be easy for him. So I'm not surprised really. Yeah, he got a lot of knowledge in the game.
Yeah. I listen, I don't know what his career has in store for him. Obviously, had the pleasure of interviewing him a couple of weeks ago, but I reckon one day he'll be back at the Den in some capacity, whether that's as a manager or as a coach or something. I can just see it. So,
yeah, don't rule that out. Definitely for his status at the club. No one can ever rule that out. Really, I think
no.
the fans will welcome him with open arms. Really.
Yeah, I mean, he has got a bit of a mixed reception with some fans, and I spoke to him about this as well because of certain comments he made. But I want to talk about a couple of other players that the Three Musketeers. Let's talk about them, you know, or the Three Amigos. I think it's Musketeers, which was yourself, Fred, and Marlon. And, you know, just talk to us about your relationship and some of the stuff, shall we say, that you used to get up to.
Well, I mean, us three at the time we kept the changing room. I think everyone would kind of agree with me here. We kept the changing room young and bubbly and lively to an extent. We made sure that there was never a dull moment in that changing room. But let's get things straight. We always, when we needed to work and it was match day and it was time to go, we would always serious, as you could all see as fans and stuff. But when it comes to off the pitch stuff, we were just non-stop messing with people's clothes, bantering and having a laugh, you know. And the manager, Neil Harris, he absolutely loved it and pushed it to a degree that he wanted that camp environment, you know. Young lads messing around with the older lads messing around with young, all just together like that. And that showed how we performed on the match day. And that's why we done so well. There'll be times where, you know, like people will be getting new boots delivered to the training ground in boxes, and they'll be in their space, and we'll just be jumping all over them, smashing the box to pieces, and just they'll be coming in and go, boxes all mangled, laces are all over the place, tied in knots. What's happened to my boots? They know straight away. It's either me, Marlon, or Fred. And if it ain't one of us, it was a sneaky senior like Morrow, Byron, you know, like one of the sneaky ones and then it gets pinned on us. So we get the blame. But yeah, it was so much fun. And, you know, it's just that type of environment, senior with a good bunch of young lads that get on with the seniors in that sense, off the pitch and on the pitch, is so important to success in football clubs. And Neil Harris realised that very quickly, and it brought him a lot of success, just that type of environment.
And you know what? You just need that, don't you? I mean, it's the dressing room is, you can have the best players in the world, but if there's no camaraderie there's no relationship, and things like what you're talking about all play a part. You know, you've got I'm sure you won't mind sharing, but the Super Santa story, you know, which, you know, take as a massive compliment to what they thought of you. I also read about you boys booking a spontaneous holiday to Marbella together after the promotion win. Like, tell me a bit about some of those stories. You'll tell them a lot better than I do, but they're just so important, aren't they, mate?
Yeah, obviously the Super Santa thing, they've all obviously got together and went like, let's get Aiden to wear this Santa Claus outfit and make him walk through, get a train through London and look like an absolute idiot while everyone's dressed in their smart t-shirts and polos and that. And I bowl into this restaurant, to this pub walking through Leicester Square around Christmas time in a super jacked up Santa with abs and big muscles and a rucksack on my back, thinking, oh, everyone's going to look so cool. I'm going to look good. Like, they're all going to be in their fancy dress. I walk straight in there. And as soon as I walk in there, about 150 people were like, "Way!" Honestly, I was like, oh no. I was like, how did I not see this? But what I realised was, if you're not the one involved in the banter and they're not bantering you, they might not see you as that close to them. So
Yep.
you need to be involved with all that banter. Yes, it's going to be pinned on you because you're the young lad, but it shows that they care and want you in with them and want you to be a part of them. And then eventually it'll be you doing the same thing to another lad, making them feel part, having a little play with them, winding them up a little bit, putting your arm around your shoulder. How are you, mate? You good? Like, it's all part and parcel of the game of becoming part of that group, and
Yeah.
and as soon as they done that Super Santa thing, that was it. I was like, that's it. I'm one of them now. It was like an initiation type thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just gotta laugh. Sometimes you might get embarrassed with a few things that they do, but it's just part of football. It's not personal. They're not trying to make you feel embarrassed and make you feel bad. It's just banter, and that's what it's all about. Team spirit, team bonding. Have a few drinks with your mates. Go out for food. Team spirit and bonding is massive in football. Massive.
And I believe, not all the time, but I believe that majority of the time I've supported Millwall, we've had really good dressing rooms, and that's key. I think you see it right now. You can just see how together all the lads are, which is just fantastic and bodes well for us this season. So really looking forward to that. One of the lads that, from all the stories I've heard, seemed like a right good character in the dressing room and was always up for a bit of banter. But although he would bite a bit, to be fair, was Jewel Archer. And I'd just love to hear a little bit more about him, because he just did not have a very good relationship with the fans. Not like you. And obviously his career, he left Millwall, and we've not really heard anything from him. But just, I've heard stories about spaghetti in boots and all sorts. But just tell me a little bit about Jordan Archer.
Yeah, he was loved by everyone in the change room. He was loved by everyone in the change room. He loved banter. He was with us, me, Marlon, and Fred. He was part of us, to be honest. He was part of our little group. He was just such a bubbly character and someone that you want in your changing room. He was just a top keeper, top trainer, top character around the dressing room. Someone that will probably won't be as out there with the fans and as interactive with the fans as maybe myself would be, or Ben Thompson, or I don't know, Byron Webster, or just someone else. But he would show it in his performances. He wouldn't show it on Twitter and doing podcasts and doing stuff like that. But trust me, he did love the fans, and he still does love the fans. I've not spoke to him in a while, but I can guarantee you he would definitely say the same thing. So just to clarify that, but he was so important and pivotal to that changing room success and that environment that we built.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? As fan, I would not assume any of those things, to be honest, as a fan. So it's good to hear, and I've heard some cracking stories of his. But there is one story that you have to tell that I've heard before, but I'm sure a lot of listeners haven't, and you have to tell it. And I'm just going to shut up, lay back, and listen. I want you to tell us about the laptop story.
Oh no! Right. So I'm on Holloway Road, where I live, and I'm walking down the high street, and an Irish fella comes up to me. Right. Do you wanna buy a laptop? And I was like, yeah, go on then. I'm actually looking for one. How much? He went 500. All right, no problem. He went, right, I'm gonna be around the corner. Come around the corner, get the cash out, come around the corner. So I got the cash out, walked around the corner, he's in his car. He's got it in a briefcase. So I sit in his car, he shows me it. I'm sitting in the passenger seat, he goes, yeah, all good. I went, yeah, no problem. So he
So
goes,
you've opened it, you've seen the
I've
laptop.
seen the laptop. Right, this is where the trick comes in. So what he's done, he's gone, right, let me just reverse quickly. So he's reversed probably from you to that picture frame behind you. That it weren't big. And anyway, he's reversed, parked the car, got out of the car, and we've done the transaction. Whatever. He's gave me the briefcase, and I gave him the money. So anyway, I'm buzzing. I'm like, wow, I've just got a brand new Apple Mac laptop, which was probably about £1,000 at the time, so I got it for half price for £500. No brainer. I needed a laptop. So anyway, I've gone round to about 2 seconds around the corner to this, like, like a game shop where you can sell things and buy things, just to go and get it valued and see how much they would buy it for. Anyway, I go there. I go, mate, I've got this laptop brand new. Like, do you want it? He's like, yeah, we're looking for laptops. Like, go on and show us it. I want to see the condition. So I've opened it his way, so I can't see. So I've gone, there you go, mate. Like, what do you think? And he's looked at me like, as if I'm not well. Like, I need help. And I'm like, what? How much would you give for that, mate? And he's like, what do you mean give for that? There's a pint of milk and some potatoes in there. And I turned the briefcase round.
Oh,
I was
mate.
like, oh no. Do you know what he's done? As he's reversed that little bit while I was out standing there, he switched the briefcase, and what he's done, he's made the weight exactly the same. The exact same weight. So
But weren't the potatoes like rolling around?
Honestly, he's flat packed it.
Oh, mate, he's skilled.
Do you know, like, as in, like, he's put like stuff so that it's all stuffed. Anyway, that was the most expensive mash I made that night and the expensive milk I've ever had.
Did you use it?
Yeah, of course I did. I used every last drop of it. But I actually went home, told my mum, and she went, I don't want to say on air what she said, but anyway, you know what she could have said. Well, that was the best trick I've ever been done on. It was incredible. He must have got thousands of people. Thousands. It was so smooth.
He's probably listening to this now. Like, he's still cracking up.
Sitting with a cigar like this, going, sitting in his 17-bedroom house, like doing it to about 100 million people, just absolutely quids in.
Oh, joker. Oh, that story's amazing. I'm sure the fans will enjoy listening to that. Sort of final story. I just want to touch on, you had a very special relationship with a very special young Millwall fan in Harvey Brown.
Yes.
Wanted to just get your thoughts on that as well, mate.
Yes, he's a special human being. He's been following the club all his life. His family have been following the club all their life. The mum and dad are the beautiful people. The little boy is absolutely top class. They breathe Millwall, and I built a connection with him and their family and a rapport, and it was just so heartwarming to kind of go and see that little boy's face when I went round his house, give him a few gifts for his birthday, and that type of stuff. That type of stuff should be done more often, because you really do. You could really change a kid's life just through situations like that. But honestly, that boy is so strong and so brave, and he is the definition of the Millwall Lion. He is a little lion, probably a big lion now. I've not seen him for a while. He's a special boy, and every Millwall fan, probably around the world know that little lion, and yeah, he's a monumental piece in the Millwall family.
Well, just hopefully he's listening, and the Brown family are. So big shout out to them if they are listening.
Massive shout out to them, yeah. Massive shout out to them.
Sending our love. Aiden, you talked a bit about you know, after football, you're not ready to hang up your boots yet, but after football, you would consider coaching. You are going to be doing a bit of coaching, aren't you, mate? Do you want to just sort of tell the viewers what you're doing and what the opportunity is?
Yeah, well, I figured I've been wanting to do it for a long time. I've got a lot of passion for giving back to the kids. In terms of knowledge in the game and what I've learned, and I've got a great passion on wanting to kind of trying to help them into bettering them, into maybe pushing them into learning new things that I've learned, maybe what I didn't learn growing up at that age. And I want to be able to push that training regime in groups and in private sessions, and kind of tailor it in private sessions for them specifically to help their game as much as I can, with the professional background that I've had. And I want to push that into young players, boys and girls, in group sessions and in private sessions, and hopefully in the future make a business out of it. And I feel passionate about helping the younger players in that respect.
Amazing. And how, if anyone's interested, like what sort of age groups and how can anyone contact you? What are the dates? I just want to make sure everyone listening to this gets that information.
Yeah. Well, it went out on social media. Just it will be ages 5 to 16 as of now. We've just started it. It's very early, so we will be expanding if all goes well, which is going well. We've been absolutely blown away with the amount of emails and messages and people. The amount of people that want to take part has made my heart drop, really, with the belief that they're giving into me to take their son or daughter for a private session or a group session. It obviously shows that they believe in what I'm probably going to give for them and help them with, and I really do feel passionate about helping them kids, to try and better them in their careers. So all you need to do if you want to get involved is go on my Instagram, check a post out, my email's on there, email me what you would like, a private session or the group sessions, and we will just discuss it further from there. Everything's quite easy at the moment. There's no, if it's available, it's available. If it's not, I'll tell you it's not, and we'll just go from there. But it's a passion. It's just my passion. I want to help, and I think I'm always gonna help, whether it'll be me doing it on my own like this now, or whether it's me coaching maybe one day in the future for Millwall, for an age group there, or I'm always going to want to help the youngsters, try and give them that encouragement and give them that training that I've learned over the career, to kind of relay that back to them and teach them what I didn't know back then.
What a perfect way would it be to sort of finish off your career kind of emulating like a Scott Fitzgerald role, eh? I'd personally love to see that in the future, mate. So wishing you all the very best with this quest, because you can tell you're just such a genuine, lovely bloke that just wants to help. And really wish you all the best, mate. Really do.
Top man, mate. Thank you very much.
So we're gonna close out now, but we're just gonna do the quick fire round, which is where I'm just gonna fire questions at you, and it's just like whatever comes to your head, just quick answers.
Okay, so no problem.
So get ready for this, mate. So who is the best manager that you've worked under?
Neil Harris.
Love it. I expected that. Who is the best player that you've played alongside?
Best player is got to be Aiden McGeady.
Wow. Okay. That was at Sunderland, right? Is that right?
Crazy player. I can't imagine him in his prime, but unbelievable. But anyway, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Who's? Oh, I'm going to do another one then. Who was the best player you played with at Millwall?
Ooh, the best player in terms of ability, you lot will probably be like, what is he on about? A player called Diego Fabrini.
I remember that name.
Oh my God, he was the best player on the ball I've ever seen. He
That
was
good.
unbelievable. He was unbelievable. He was unbelievable. But yeah, I would probably say him in terms of ability on the ball.
He used to do that this little flip flap thing, didn't he? Like where
He used to wear these boots that are probably 3 sizes too big for him, but he used to do things, and I'd be like, "Where's he gone?" Just put it through someone's leg, flip flap, and he's gone. It's just he was a genius, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He wasn't with us that long, was he? But yeah, he was pleasing to watch. Who's I'll say the biggest wally that you've met in football, or someone that you just haven't got on with?
Haven't got on with.
Which must be hard for you, because I
It's
can
quite
imagine
hard
you.
for me to not get.
Yeah.
Haven't got on with. That's a good question. I don't have anyone. Genuinely.
I believe that.
I genuinely don't have anyone I could say have not got on with.
I think that says a
Genuinely.
lot about you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to the next one. Who's your best friend in football?
Best friend in football. I would say it would have the best relationship I've had in football would have been Byron Webster.
Wow, says a lot. I would love to get Byron on this, by the way. We'll try. We'll try and get Byron on. Seems like such a top bloke. I know he does the wall talk stuff. So
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Who is your favourite footballer of all time?
Good question, but I'm gonna have to go with the 2 Arsenal strikers. I got to say 2: Dennis Bergkamp and Henry.
Yeah, I mean,
Them 2. I used to watch them all the time and just be. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. It's scary.
Yeah, they were good players, part of some good teams. Right, this one, I think all of the fans want to know the answer to this, so I'm gonna lean in with this one. What were you always pointing at?
I'll tell you what. I had about. Oh my God! I used to get hammered for that, didn't I?
Yes, you did, and you still do.
But I, if you watch me to this day, I still point.
You're doing it now.
I probably pointed about 25 times in this thing. I don't know. It's just a habit. It's a habit. Maybe thinking about it logically, maybe because the fans are so loud, the person I'm talking to across the pitch might not understand what I'm saying if I just do this. But if I go like this, they might understand. Oh, you might mean just go over there, or get him, this player here, or this player. Do you know what I mean?
Let's go with that.
That's what I think it is.
I just remember
bit more of a guidance to what I'm saying if they can't hear me, basically.
Yeah, bit of sign language for those that can't.
Language,
Yeah, love it, Aiden. Love it,
because
mate.
you fans are so loud, you know.
Turn it back as a compliment, mate. I love it.
Yeah.
What's one motto that you live your life by?
One motto you live your life by: always work 100% whatever you do.
Fantastic. Love that. What is 2 questions in one? What is your fondest Millwall memory? I think we've talked about some of them. And what was the best FA Cup game that you were involved in? Because you were involved in some classics.
It's got to be promotion, fondest, easy, and FA Cup classic. You know what? The outing at Tottenham, we lost 6-0, but some outing. The fans were singing all the way to the end. That's got to be one of them. And then obviously the Brighton one. Oh, that was. I know it didn't end well, but like, unbelievable. You got the Leicesters, you got the Watfords, you got the Evertons. Like, the list goes on, mate.
Some classics, right?
I can't pick them. I can't pick one. You can't make me pick one. They're just too good. They all had their different, dramas in it. It was just unbelievable. All of them.
Okay. And your favourite goal that you scored?
Favourite goal would be... I'll go with a Bury one. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. I mean, you also scored a winner at home against Leeds, which I remember that one.
Good one. But just because we touched on that Bury one, I'm going to go with that one.
Love it, mate. Love it. And then final question, mate, as we're closing out, is there anything that you would want to say to the Millwall fans listening to this that you haven't already said, or something that they may not know about you, or anything? Just sort of closing words.
Nothing that they don't already know about me. I love the club. I love the fans still. And I will be a Millwall fan. And I'll try and bring my son up as a Millwall fan. I'll let him know what the club's about. And yeah, I just wish nothing but success for the rest of the season and for the years going forward. It's been a magic time since I was there, and I'll always follow the club. It'll always be, my heart would always be blue, really. You can't change now.
You can't get a more resounding statement than that, mate. I'll ask you one more then. How do you think we're going to do this season? Last question.
I think obviously really well, with Neil and Dave Livermore in charge, and with the players you've got there and the ones you've recruited. I think you recruited really well and really smart, which Neil Harris always seems to do and get right. I think you're going to do brilliant. I think you're going to shock a lot of people.
If we make that Den a fortress, mate, I think we can. Well, better than anyone, we can beat anyone there.
Anyone, mate, literally anyone. You make that Den a fortress week in, week out. I don't see why you won't get autos.
Love it, mate. Love it. Absolutely love it. Well, look, I think we would love to see you down the Den at some point. Obviously, if the schedules work, and in the future, maybe coaching the Lions of the future. I think that would be brilliant.
That's definitely going to be something that I chat to Scott Fitzgerald about in the future. 100%. It is definitely something that needs to get spoken about. Yes.
Amazing. Fantastic. Well, Aiden, thank you so much for taking your time to come on here and talk to me and share all of these great stories with the Millwall fans. I really, really do appreciate it. So thank you, mate.
No problem. Anytime I can help a Millwall man, fellow Millwall person, I'll do it. As I said at the start, it's no problem at all. No problem.
Brilliant. Thanks, Aiden. Wishing you all the best with the summer, and we'll speak soon.
Top man, mate. Have a good evening, yeah?
And you. Bye for now.
Yeah, guys. Bye-bye. You good?